Hello, this is the Silver Watchman, and welcome back to Dead Eyes. This is episode number 7. Now, in the last episode of Dead Eyes, we were talking about how walking with God is kind of like walking on a very narrow, very rickety bridge that's surrounded by what appears to be a very nice field of flowers, but is in fact surrounded by nothing but death and pain. The death and pain is sin. And the rickety bridge is the path of righteousness. There's no guardrails, which means if we fall off, we're gonna fall. But by the grace of God, there's a way to get back on the bridge. You know, God has like these little ropes that we can climb up. Now, sometimes we don't have the strength to climb back up onto that rope, onto that bridge, onto that path of righteousness for God. That's why God gives us a helper, the Holy Spirit. Now, the Holy Spirit helps us when we are struggling with faith. It provides that little extra faith that we need to keep on moving forward. If we are struggling financially, it provides a way that we can make it through. It's a part of God, so it's going to watch after us. God watches over us, and He's got our back. God also knows what we can and cannot handle. Things are always going to be difficult. And sometimes a particularly strong gust happens and we feel like we're going to fall off the path. That's known as temptation. And that was the whole, video, the last video. Now, some of you might have wondered, how long is this bridge? The bridge is as long as you are willing to walk. Meaning that if you want to walk this path of righteousness for God, it's pretty much the length of your entire life. Now, can you fall off the bridge and get back on? Yes. That's what God's grace is there. It's good. God's grace is good. Because without His grace, we wouldn't get mercy that we don't deserve. And a chance to go somewhere that we pretty much don't belong, which is heaven. God made that sacrifice for us. So the least we can do for getting a gift that we don't deserve would be to walk for God. Now this path, it seems like it's no fun. But I can guarantee to you that you will have more fun doing things for God than you will just going out there partying with some random girl named Diana. God knows, what your limits are, what you can and cannot handle. He knows your breaking point because, he designed you, so naturally he knows. And if you're not going to be with God, you're technically with the enemy. Now, the enemy may be able to seduce you, but the only thing the enemy can do is modify you. But they have no idea what your capabilities are. Which tells me something. They may act like they know you, how you are and how you're built. But I can guarantee you God has put some things in you that they have no idea that you're capable of. But God knows. And if you follow God, so will you. There's some people out there that have a gift for God and they have no clue. They're like, well, with their excuses like, well, I thought, I was supposed to be, some kind of dancer or whatever. And then, they actually have a God-given talent to, I don't know, to be able to look at something and then they could just rebuild it, right on the spot. Or they can like remember something like, so I'm not a very good snapper, so I'm just gonna like that. I don't even know if that registered, but that was a clap. And some people, God will give a lot of, that was fast. God will give a lot of, abilities to do. Now, what these abilities are, it varies. Some people can pick up other languages, like at the drop of a hat. Me, not so much. I mean, if you get a couple demons talking around, I'd probably be able to relay to you with pretty good accuracy what they're saying. Same thing with angels. I understand that because I've lived in that side of our world for so long. But that's not, that's something that could be saved for a video in which I tell my testimony of what God saved me from. And everybody who gets saved has a testimony. For some people, their testimony is very, very powerful. Other people, their testimony is, I mean, it'll affect some people, but it won't have that big of an effect. A testimony like mine, I honestly don't know. It might touch a lot of people, and it just might make a lot of people just kind of throw their hats in disgust. Which is in a way what I'm kind of worried about it. I've talked to God about it, but at the same time, He's not saying don't, which makes me nervous. Just so you get an idea of my personality, it's kind of like a cross between Abraham, Gideon, Jacob, David, Peter, and I believe Paul. So it's like a combination of all of those, including Moses too. So it's like a combination of them all. there's some people out there that, I mean, I don't know all of the abilities that are God-given gifts, but I do know this one. There's a gift out there where you could see into the hearts of others. You could see what kind of person they are, and the more time you spend with that person, the more you see. I've got that gift. There are other gifts where like somebody could just, without even trying, just tame an animal. I don't have that. I kind of wish I did because, you know, a pet bear would be pretty awesome. You know? Then you give it like a very non-threatening name like Kevin. It is time to summon the Kevin on you. Meanwhile, the person that you know, that's about to get attacked by a bear is just there like, what's a Kevin? Then they see the bear and they're like, oh, that's a Kevin. That's a pretty cool gift from God. But yeah, there are other gifts that are just so cool. And the Holy Spirit can pull that, like activates it. And not just activates it, but like the more you walk with God, the more God's like, yep, I'm going to enhance it. Now it's supercharged. Depending. Some people would just never. But one thing you gotta know is you can't be a sleeper. I'm not saying that you can't sleep, like physically sleep. You need sleep or else you die. That kind of sucks. You know how much things we could get done if we never needed to sleep? So many things. Like, a lot of things. I mean, we could also save a lot of time if we never had to poop. But we are made with flawed bodies. And I think I understand why God allows us to have flawed bodies right now. So we appreciate it when He gives us our perfect bodies. But you need to get saved and get the Holy Spirit in order to receive that gift. If not, you're going to be stuck here during the tribulation and you'll never get a perfect body. You'll be stuck in that body that you have forever. And that sucks. When you get a perfect body, it'll be perfect. So I assume that you'll never need to poop. I'm sorry if I brought that up a little too much, but I do find that a little annoying. It's like, yeah, sorry, buddy, I can't join you right now. I have to use the bathroom. That's it. Like, it's inconvenient at times. There were like other God-given abilities that are just like off the charts awesome. Like, Oh, like being able to instantly pick something up. Oh man, I wish I had that. Like, I don't, that's not an ability I have. So I'm just kind of... Takes me a while to learn. Doesn't help that I'm a bit, thick-headed too on top of that. Let's see, there's some people who could just like grab like super electric things and not get electrified to death. Once again, a very useful ability to have. Yeah. Oh well. But yeah, when you come to serve God, it's like the best decision. That you ever make in your life, because it's something that, so long as you have a good relationship with God and you're always talking to Him, you will never regret it. You can regret a lot of things in this world. Lord knows I have enough regret as is. And I'll have a lot more before I stop breathing. But one thing I don't regret is coming to serve God. Yeah, sometimes things kind of get a bit hectic every now and then. But I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. Because this world is empty and this world is dying. They're running out of ideas. And God's getting ready to come back. So it can get a little freaky at times. I know I say that a lot, but it'll make more sense in the future. There's a lot of pain in this world. But I can guarantee to you that if you have God, He will hold you in your pain. And He'll arrange things, and He'll protect you too. He'll never put you in a situation that you cannot handle. I got shot in the back with an arrow. Painful. Oh well. So That's actually something that I can guarantee to you. When you come to serve God, yes, there's going to be a lot of situations that are going to suck. Things are going to get crazy, and I'm pretty sure halfway down the road, you're going to see a lot of death. And you're going to be put in situations that are like awkward, and you're just like, how do I handle this? How do I cope with it? I need help from God. And that's the truth. But I think the best prayer to make is never to be taken out of a situation. I know that sounds kind of weird, and that sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. If you ask God to take you out of every single situation, how are you going to grow? How are you going to be able to handle it when you're in a worse situation, when you couldn't even handle the basics? You know? Think about it. If you can handle the basics, then you can handle the more advanced stuff. I mean, if you look at the playthrough of Thumper, yeah, it's a whole bunch of awkwardness. But the gameplay itself, they give you like, you know, little things, and then they give you the basics. And the whole game is dependent on whether or not you can actually get the basics. Once you've mastered the basics, then that means that you can handle more advanced things as well. That build on the basics. You know what that's called? Building your foundation on rocks. If you got a good foundation, you know the basics. And this is even true of walking with God. This is why God trusts some people with more abilities than others, because He knows from the start He made you. So He's at the beginning of time and at the end of time as well. So He knows what has happened. And He knows what will happen. And what could happen. He allows me to know a lot of what could happen, but never too much of what will happen. some people here that have got amazing musical gifts granted to them by God. And that's fantastic. I love to see that. To be honest, one of my favorite things to see is when somebody gets saved. I don't care how bad a day I'm having. I get to see somebody get saved for God. And that makes my day. Because that means that they don't have to go to that horrible place. That from that point on, their life is forever changed. And for some people, walking with God is scary and it's a lot of responsibility. I get it. You know? But think about it like this. If God trusts you to handle more and more responsibility, that means that you are incredibly trustworthy. Yeah, you're stressed out. You gotta feel like everything's on your back, but God still trusts you, right? That's always awesome. And you get a compliment from God is also something that's just like, whoa. You know, it's like, whoa, I just got a compliment from God for just using the gifts that He gave me. Yeah, it's literally that easy to get a compliment from God. Use the gifts that He gives you. Use the ability that He has given you to do His will. And if you have a hard time doing that, don't worry, we all do. And so the best thing for you to do is just obey God. He knows best. And the more you obey, the cooler things will get. Yeah, it seems like they'll be freaky for a while. What? What's the alternative? Living an unfulfilling life, depressed, sad, angry, a meaningless life. Or you could do something that matters to a being that is so perfect that He's willing to risk it all just for you. It is an honor that I get to do this for you. Thank you. Thank you for sitting through the whole video. Glory be to God, and blessings be upon you. This is a silver Watchman. Grateful. Thank you. Blessings be upon you. This is a silver Watchman signing out.